Face it, Airbnb calls the shots and you have to play by their rules. If Airbnb wants to give a guest a refund, done. Cancel a stay, done. Block your future calendar, deactivate your listing, double done. They will penalize you, not pay you, prevent future guests from booking your calendar. And what have you done about it? Nothing. It's not your fault. You're just like 10,000 other hosts who all fear Airbnb. Airbnb has a public and well-visible body count of all their banhammer victims meant to keep you in line. An attorney with perhaps the most experience against Airbnb, and he shared a secret with us.
Small claims court so that you can take Airbnb on. I certainly have had hosts who not only were not retaliated, but ended up getting extra from Airbnb because they had filed for arbitration. Because Airbnb doesn't want to mess with them again, because if they do anything to that host moving forward, that host might say it was for retaliation purposes because of the prior arbitration. And that is the nuclear option for Airbnb. They cannot afford a ruling that they retaliated.
Airbnb is letting you believe a lie so that way you won't fight back. I want you to do something for me. Go grab some paper and a pen, and I want you to go back in time from the beginning and start to write down every time that Airbnb let you down in a way that you knew that Airbnb was doing something sketchy. For example, COVID-19, when Airbnb gave away all that money in refunds to guests outside of our cancellation policy, that was a violation of our host rights, consumer protection stuff, which Enrico can tell you much more about in that webinar that we did together, and there will be a link in the description for that. And in that webinar, he explained that we have 4 years to tell Airbnb to pay us back that money, and that clock is ticking. That 4 years ends in March or April. It's coming very soon. But it doesn't end there. Anytime that Airbnb's breached a contract with you, given a guest a refund without you having a chance to defend yourself, canceling future stays for arbitrary reasons, fining you money when they blame you for a cancellation that wasn't actually your fault, not paying you damages in accordance to Airbnb's host guarantee, all of these can be arbitration. And right on time, there was a host in California who's upside down $300,000 on her property because of a clogged toilet. And if Airbnb doesn't pay, arbitration could be how they do that. Enrico explained in this webinar that we did that Airbnb likes to not pay when a home insurance policy is involved. Instead of coming to pay you fast for damages that a guest does so you can get back to business, they wait for your homeowner's policy to close the case. And so if the homeowner's policy takes months and months to close a case, Airbnb won't step up, rule in your favor, or rule against you, pay you or not, until that case is closed. This has put hosts out of business. I can't say for sure because I'm not an attorney, that's Enrico, but it sounds a lot like they're misrepresenting their air cover as an insurance policy, but it's not. And misrepresentation of the contract that you went into with them is another reason why Airbnb might be entitled to pay you some money. For all the years that you've been hosting and following this host agreement, Airbnb still allows themselves to interpret that agreement either way, whichever suits them best sometimes. And also they have case managers and support representatives who also interpret the language whatever way they feel like. So sometimes you get paid for something, sometimes you don't. But there has to be continuity there. The terms of service are what they are, right? Here's something that you can do to understand the terms of service better. You can upload Airbnb's terms of service to ChatGPT Plus and then ask it questions about the terms of service. You can find out if you're allowed to do something, if Airbnb just did something wrong. It will advise you the best as it can as an AI on those terms of service. Remember that pad of paper asks you to pick up? What I want you to do is keep going. Every time that Airbnb canceled a reservation without your consent, every time that Airbnb gave a guest a refund in an unfair way outside of their terms of service. Because remember, if you don't have a hot tub working and you advertise a hot tub, that's only supposed to be a percentage off the reservation. Airbnb may have given a guest a full refund because your pool wasn't working. That's outside of their terms of service. If Airbnb ever blocked your calendar, let's say a guest went to pay for your place, blocks your calendar, but the card doesn't go through, and Airbnb says you're awaiting payment, but they never remove that person from the calendar and you cannot get a booking because Airbnb has reserved your calendar, you could argue that in arbitration as well. And if you've been removed from the platform, God forbid, you can file an arbitration to get put back on the platform. That's a long and involved one. You probably want to tap Enrico on the shoulder and say, hey, can you help me with this one? Because that's what he's good at. One of the most important steps for filing good arbitration is good documentation. And that starts in the beginning. When a guest arrives and has a problem, you need to have documentation. If a guest claims your place was dirty, your housekeepers better have photos showing that it was clean. So if Airbnb cancels a guest or gives them a refund without you being able to defend yourself, you can file arbitration with proof that the place was clean. Hopefully you have a lot of this. You can file one arbitration claim with all of these refund requests at once, and you'll have to pay $200 one time Airbnb will then have to pay the rest and defend it. They have to pay their own attorney's fees. And another dirty recent event that Airbnb is involved in, it might be an accident, but they're probably still on the hook for the money, is they may have given your guest a cleaning fee-free stay. If the stay was 2 days or less, Airbnb's updated something called a short stay cleaning fee. And if you're connected to a channel manager, it's been reported by hundreds of hosts that Airbnb has set that short stay cleaning fee to $0. Now people are booking 1 night and 2 night stays and not having to pay a cleaning fee. That means you're on the hook for all that money. Airbnb, of course, is not going to pay you. They're going to say that your listing had a $0 cleaning fee and your channel manager was at fault. That's where you go to arbitration and say that Airbnb did not do a good job updating its API or its communication with all of these partners and forced hosts out of the know and gave guests a bunch of free cleaning fees. I really think this one could be won. And another thing that you need to understand, if you file an arbitration against Airbnb, it's separate from everybody else's claims. So if you only have $2,000 or $4,000 in fees that you feel like you're owed, Airbnb may not feel it's worth fighting. It might be more expensive to fight it than to just pay you. And if they pay you, it doesn't set a legal precedence because it's just arbitration, it's private party. So they can pay you in secret and fight everybody else on the bigger ones. So don't be afraid to file an arbitration. Like Enrico said earlier, once you file an arbitration, Airbnb has a higher standard of conduct that they must behave by because now you can always claim retaliation for you filing an arbitration claim. A big precursor to arbitration is resolutions. You'll ask a guest for money, the guest won't pay, then you can go to arbitration. If you want to maximize your success rate in the resolution center and prevent getting bad reviews in the process, I did a previous video on this topic about how you can file resolutions without fear of a retaliatory review. Watch that video. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you on the other side.